when you want to go to it. Relax, don't do it when you want to come. Relax.
Welcome back from holiday travel to picking out gifts to visiting the family sometimes. The holidays can definitely be a stressful time. Here to give us some tips on how you can manage that stress is Heidi Hanna. She is the author of Stressaholic and so much more. But you've been dealing with stress-related issues for years, right?
My whole life, believe it or not. That's right.
Did it start with yourself, or?
It did, actually.
Yeah.
I was really interested in stress because I had a hard time managing it early on. I had an anxiety disorder, and it kind of led me down this path of trying to understand why someone could have all of this great information and knowledge and yet get hijacked by stress.
So what do you do for a living now?
So I'm the executive director of the American Institute of Stress, and I do stress research. Believe it or not, we have people that research this regularly. And then I also go around and I speak to companies about how to better help their employees to be more resilient.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not a laughing matter. Stress is a very critical, I mean, it's not listed as an illness, is it, or is it? Stress.
It's not, and a lot of people get confused about what stress actually is.
As opposed to anxiety, which...
Right, exactly, which can turn into anxiety. Stress is just the pressure that exists when demand is greater than capacity. So that could affect us in a lot of different ways. But stress has been correlated with 75 to 90% of medical visits. So we know that stress is a problem, but we're still working on helping people understand what stress is and how to keep it from turning into worry and anxiety and even stress addiction.
Does your research show that holidays is just waiting? I mean, like one of the worst times to really go through this?
It is, and a lot of it comes down to the pressure and the expectations we put on ourselves. So we actually see about 40% increase in perceived stress during the holidays.
And stress, you do it to yourself, so it's preventable.
You do, it's absolutely preventable, and it's so important to actually be aware of what you want the holidays to look like and setting the right boundaries and slowing down. We're just so used to being in a rush all the time that we take those patterns into the holidays, but now we have these greater expectations for wanting to enjoy time with our family and wanting to kind of take a break and recharge our energy, but we're so used to going at such a fast pace that people find it difficult, which is the whole notion of stress addiction.
But when you say slowing down, it's easy to say, it's harder to do.
Absolutely.
Right? So what are some tips about getting rid of the stress that you're dealing with day in and day out during the holidays?
Yeah, so I think of three different things. The first one is to slow down, and that means actually putting time into your calendar as what I call buffer time. It's not something we do all year round, but it's a great opportunity during this time of year to build in even a buffer day in between festivities and going out with friends and having family over. We tend to just go from one thing to the next, and I think building in that time and holding it as valuable as any other appointment we might have is really critical.
Make it a priority.
Make it a priority, and that goes into the next part, which is to set yourself up for success, to really think about what you want the holidays to feel like, what's most important to you. If it's really your time with friends and family, you got to show up, you got to be present, you got to put the technology down when you're actually engaging with other people.
Yeah, okay.
And then the third one is to soak it in, to actually build in time to appreciate the positive things that are happening, because sometimes we just get going on to the next thing and the next thing, and we don't actually embrace what we feel grateful for. And those are all mental trainings that we can do, but we have to build in that time to actually be able to have that experience.
Does that affect women more than it does men? Because it seems like it does.
It does, and the statistics actually show that as well. It's not a huge difference, but it's primarily because women are cooking and hosting and are actually
taking on
thinking
more
a little bit more about everybody else.
Yeah, taking on more responsibility. I mean, let's face it, sometimes the guy just, okay, wherever you want me to be, I'll just go. But the woman sometimes is a little more responsible, or takes it upon herself with the children and everything to do those things, right?
And even neurologically, we see differences in men versus women. So women actually process much more holistically and are thinking more about how is everyone else experiencing this right now, not just how am I feeling right now in the moment. And so that's a little bit different between men and women.
I feel calmer just talking to you.
That's good.
Heidi Hanna. The name of the book, by the way, is Stressaholic. Where can you find that? In case you
can find it online. You can find it on Amazon. It's easy to find. It's in all bookstores, and it really talks about how we become addicted to stress. stress and why it's so hard to slow down. Because even though we know stress is a problem,
Yeah.
it's difficult to actually be still and relax unless we train ourselves to do that.
Okay.
So I actually brought a little training technique with
okay.
me for you.
Sure.
This is a little monkey, and if you squeeze him, his heart pops out. And it's a reminder, too, that we have to have more fun. Because when we have fun and we play and we experience humor, as we were doing with the bad Santa photos earlier,
Yeah.
we enjoy the holidays a lot more,
Perfect.
too.
Thank you very much.
And one for Lisa as well.
Aw, all right. Lisa can use it more than me, trust me.
I heard that.
Thank you so much.
All right,
for
you're
coming in.
welcome.
We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
We'll be back.